Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. So I can say welcome to the Advancement Center here in Santa Barbara, California, USA, geographically speaking. And add to that, wherever our voice is heard in Turkey, Australia, Spain, and Brooklyn, and elsewhere. This is for you. Wherever you are, advancement in every sector of the life you are living. Add to that my most warm welcome to the world of magic and miracles. I love saying that. You've known about the world since you were a child. We're talking about magic now, where everything was magic. But that all seemed to fade into rules and regulations and measures, and finally, calculations that had to be proven. Then came all those expectations and milestones you were scheduled to achieve. And now, let us look further into what we are looking at in terms of our everyday life and take on the attitude that nothing is beyond any of us. This constitutes a conflict with many of our past experiences and many of the capabilities that we display at the moment, and makes it obvious that we have to be either out of our mind or looking at something very different to what we are considering. Both are probably the case. But for the moment, let us consider the latter. We are looking at something very different, and it is therefore hard to recognize with our logical cognitive processes. If we look at our ability to recognize a person or event when we have no previous knowledge of either, we can see that there is no process for us to reconcile. By some means or another, we suddenly recognize something and we switch into a space of total elation and react with joy and excitement. You've had that feeling. The magic behind all of this has been hidden by the lack of understanding. But now we are in a position where we can join the possible and impossible in a dance that makes miracles totally normal in our everyday life. If you look at the things that are impossible at this point, you will continue to experience the impossibility. However, once you look at the so-called impossible things that are actually happening to everyone, your perspective changes, and so does your view of the impossible. Your personal assessment of what is possible and what is impossible quickly changes, and you gradually Find the ability to expand your reality to include impossibilities without the need for understanding. Wow. It is not necessary for anyone to perform to the way that has been passed down over the ages. Each person has a majestic capability to do everything differently, even when fixed methods are programmed into our lives. There is no need to prove anything to anyone but yourself. And this can be done in any number of different ways that seem to appear out of nowhere and make you smile without having any logical reason. The value of one simple action or thought can multiply 1,000,000 or more times and bring abnormal happiness and satisfaction that cannot be explained to anyone. As you enter the mode of feeling good for no obvious reason, all the false veils drop, leaving clarity and freedom that encourages perfection in every part of your life. As we celebrate our new capabilities, they become a permanent part of our reality and always remain beyond logical description. It is not the practice or the discipline that makes your being sing. It is the recognition of something from your origin that sparks your majestic being into life and switches on the most powerful energies in the universe. These energies emanate from you in the form of powerful fields that interact positively with everything and multiply your effect of well-being for everyone in every possible way. The most promising part of our future is all around us in recognizable packages, waiting for us to open and enjoy. There's no longer any mystery, and nothing is hidden. There is nothing specific that must be done, and there are no obligations. You are free to make yourself feel as brilliant as you like and experience the feelings that have always seemed to be out of your reach. There is nothing that can stop you, not even you. That's the thrill that we have, no matter what age, that we can handle life in a whole different way than what is being handed to us in this so-called world that we're supposed to obey. Excuse me. But when you're in your world, you look as if you're obeying every rule, no matter who made it, because you don't leave anything out. You include everything, you handle everything, and you don't handle it by standard means. That's the secret. You handle it with your magic. Pardon me. I'm excited. With the occasional miracle, with a little bit of mischief, with the distraction of time. Or maybe I would rather say distortion of time. And also with a change of circumstance so that everybody fits in. But what looks like it's a mistake doesn't appear that way in your world or in theirs. So that's how you manage to arrive on time. Has this ever happened to you? When you left a little bit late to start with, and you find time disappears on you, or the person that you're supposed to meet has been trying to call you for half an hour because they can't get there. And you arrive just on time. The power you had when you were a young child, before you could even speak or walk, was totally enormous. It's just not recognized. In the measuring system that we've had on Earth up until this time, now it's recognized every time you see a young child. You feel their presence. You feel their control of their own circumstance, even though they're totally reliant on their parents or you. But somehow you know exactly what they need. They know exactly how to control it, and there's no force. It's such an honor and a beautiful feeling to be accepted by a child. And it's exactly the same in the world of your origin. It's such a beautiful thing to be accepted by another being, by a bird, or a dog, or a cat, or a dolphin. And that acceptance may only take a fraction of a second. But it's sufficient. It is sufficient to last for years. I was once face to face with a dolphin. And yes, I will never forget that moment. And that was at least 35 years ago. But oh, I see it now. So every second you transmit, you have the capability of an indelible mark on the life and the well-being of everyone. And that's what drives you. That's the hidden power that gets underway, and it increases and increases and never dies down. It gets finer. It gets stronger. And it's an endless, eternal world that you're entering. And there's not 1 second that's the same twice. It's just 1 second. Catch it. It won't come again, but there'll be another. So look to the new look at the excitement and look at the strength of your being in a whole different way to physical strength. It will appear in the physical, but that's not where it exists. It appears as nourishment to your physical body. But to you, it's an endless source of everything you can possibly desire, and nothing is left out. And that nourishment you can deliver to others. So the more you see that you can do this, and you don't have to say a word, the more active you will be, even in your silence. So every sound, there will be a driving force that's different, and it's sufficient to light up the whole country, coming from that one person called you. So congratulate yourself. And now I'm going to share something that I wrote to Simeon in my journal at 8 o'clock this morning. I have volumes because I love writing to Simeon. And today I wrote, "Dear Simeon, you have delivered all love, all power, and so much more in every encounter we have with you. My broadcast is in 4 hours, and I long to hear any advice from you that my own writing? And I long to hear any advice, or words you may have for me." And without a second going by, he responded, "Dearest Barbara, with what you have just honored me, those who hear you will honor you and receive honor when they themselves speak the truth. And when the truth goes viral throughout the world, we will all be celebrating the magic and miracles of life's flow. Enjoy. Love, Simeon." Now you know why I love to write to Simeon. And welcome to the world of magic and miracles. Yeah. Every day, in every way, every one of us is broadcasting what we are holding. Let it be the miracle of a joy that just happened, or the magic of that baby's smile directed to you. All that wealth, love, valuable information, and pure upliftment, liftment is yours from us 6 days a week. Today is Sunday with Barbara. Monday and Friday, David thrills us with his wisdom and the latest chapter of the book he is writing, and it is sure to be a bestseller. Tuesday, Genya delights us with her inimitable charm and details of the life of a spirit clothed as a beautiful blonde. Wednesday, my dearest Simeon, my friend, delivers our true story. We are living. And Saturday, our dear Adrian will be filling us up with a dram of his pure love when he returns from a visit to his beloved Scotland. In the meantime, his pinch hitter is Simeon. Now, for weeks, I've been apologizing because we've run out of time. And today, I'm happy to report we have time. So, those of you who are devotees of Robert Young's writing have read The Magic of Life, Volume 1, and followed up immediately Loving Magic of Life, Volume 2. And it has been my thrill to discover that Robert has begun Volume 3. So if I can find it, oh, here it is. Now, these books are available online, I guess Amazon, yeah. And I've been reading from Volume 3. And just to catch you up, if you're not at all familiar, this is a gripping story of progress, love, and everything you've ever wished for. And there have been some amazing developments. And I'm just going to read, and you're going to pick it up. I know you will. So the last paragraph well, this all takes place in a shipyard. Okay, and I'll just pick it up here. 90% finished, said Alf. We could take the Michael Lee, that's their boat, tonight, but the power systems have not been signed off. Great, said John. I knew the old system. I can take it from here. You relax and join the boys in the community hall. I will give you a call when they arrive. Now, I'm just going to keep going. John turned and opened the door to the main control center. The lights flickered and brightened as he entered. The mystical glow of the transfer converter indicated that it was already receiving a request for engagement. John waved his hand in front of the screen, and the visual of the Michael Lee presented itself. The external view had taken some time to develop from the reflections on the dimensional boundaries, but now it was as clear as a high-resolution camera mounted somewhere in the sky about a half-mile in front of the vessel. The internal image was more conventional, but still as clear as any high-resolution movie. Within minutes, the transfer converter began to resonate, and the picture of the Michael Lee changed color. The target gradually appeared in the upper right corner, and a request for confirmation appeared at the bottom. Tom Jacobs entered the control room and walked up alongside John to view the instruments below the video screen. Without a word, he gave the thumbs up to John and entered his half of the code in the confirmation screen. John waited until he saw Suzanne on the bridge of the Michael Lee and then entered the remainder of the code. Willie's heart was racing as he watched for the confirmation to arrive at his console. "It is here," he said anxiously as he turned to Suzanne. "We are ready to go." Suzanne waited for a moment and extended her connection to Simeon. The bridge suddenly filled with minute sparkles. Suzanne nodded to Willie, and he pressed the accept button. Within a moment, the atmosphere changed and everything became transparent. The sudden pop of the movement was like a surge that never happened. The atmosphere slowly cleared, then a cheer came from the communication system. "Perfect," said John. "Perfect. See you in 30 minutes." Willie had no idea of where the sound came from. John had obviously perfected another part of his monitoring system, but his voice was more than enough to confirm that everything was okay. "Roger," he replied, assuming that there was no need for a microphone. "We have you monitored," John replied quickly. "It is like we are on the ship with you, and we can see you from a distance on another screen. See you soon." The technology that John continued to add to the Michael Lee systems was hard to keep up with, but the progress on Willie's transfer module had confounded everyone. Global transfer allowed the relocation of their vessel to any magnetic grid crossing point in the same dimension without disturbing time in any way at all. Willie had completed and tested his prototype almost a year ahead of program and had spent the past 10 months perfecting the tracking devices to ensure that he wouldn't lose the ship in some unknown dimension. His experience with losing his first transfer module and then finding it to be focused on on the Salamander Suite in Sydney, Olson Plaza, gave him a new sense of what was needed to maintain control of the phenomena and allow the transfer of matter in time and space. Wow. I can't wait till I read the next part to you. Wow. That's exciting. I'm sorry I delayed it for so long, but I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you caught the excitement because who knows what's coming next. And now it's time to talk about Thursday night's art class. We've enjoyed capturing nature for weeks. And this past Thursday evening, you could hear a slight groan coming from the class because this model called for perspective. Now, Mandar gave us tips, and the best one was, I quote him, take a point outside the picture and draw that to the different areas of your drawing. And I received that point to be my origin with which to view my life. You can do that too. Here it is. Yeah, this way. Yeah. Yeah. I hope you like it. What a joy. And from all of us here, I wrote a word I can't read. Oh, I see. And from all of us here, we present you the gifts and the gift of perfect life, the gift of perfect health, and a future filled with magic and miracles. Thanks so much for joining me. I am Barbara.